When I was a little girl, I loved swinging to and fro, high and low, on my backyard swing set. And when I was swinging, I would sing my favorite tune, Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. Our future is always unknown, but we especially feel that way with the coronavirus these days. We do not have an internal navigational system that we can rely upon to direct us through life, knowing in advance each stop along the way. And yet God promises us in Jeremiah 29:11, I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans for hope and to give you a future. Another Bible verse also gives me the confidence to believe what God says in Jeremiah. It's called the faith verse, and it is found in Hebrews 11:1. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. When I was 11 years old, I was living in a tumultuous household when Alberta arrived. And it was not long after Alberta's arrival that I was convinced that angels do indeed walk amongst us on earth. I was convinced Alberta was an angel, and I wanted to follow her and her example in life. Alberta worked in our home 7 days a week, and as she had been fairly compensated for all of the counseling she gave to me during my preteen and teen years, she would have had change to spare in her pockets. She was definitely one of the most loving, compassionate, patient, gentle, and Christ-like individuals I have ever known. She had little education, and she was not well known in the community beyond her family and her church. However, I cannot think of many individuals I have known in my long life by whom I have been more influenced a long time than Alberta. She enjoyed sharing her life's experiences and faith examples with others, and I was a willing listener. As a result, I gleaned much from the stories she shared with me. I especially remember one story she told me when I was a child. It had an indelible imprint upon my life at the time, and I have not forgotten it. She told me about worrying one afternoon as she was thinking about what she would be serving her family for dinner that night, when she realized she did not have anything to serve them. Nevertheless, she told one of her 13 children to go and set the table. The child looked back at her and said, "Why should I set the table? We do not have any food to eat tonight." Her mother responded, "Child, set the table. The Lord has always provided for our needs." A short while later, they heard a knock at the door, and when Alberta went to the screen door of her little cinder block home, a neighbor was standing there smiling with a piglet. He told Alberta that he had put down 2 pigs that day. They only needed one, and they thought perhaps she could use the other. That night, Alberta and her family went to bed full, not hungry. Alberta's positive influence upon my life was profound during the 40 years I knew her, and it continues today, propelling me forward. By observing how this phenomenal lady lived out her faith, Alberta helped me to understand more deeply the humanity of others unlike me, ones from other faiths, other cultures, other races, and to realize that though we are different in many ways, we are all beloved by God as His children. I'm convinced Alberta was sent into my life for a season and a reason, but the Holy Spirit is sent into our lives forever. And only ask that we believe until the evidence of the Holy Spirit and His power living within us becomes apparent and undeniable.